Governor Brown, there's sort of a culture, a tradition of conventions, and that is that the guys who come in second and third, they do get their moment in the sun. Their delegates get a chance to scream and yell, and the band plays for 10 minutes or so, and people go whooping through the aisles, and then there is a healing process. Are you ready to play by those kinds of rules?
Well, we're certainly part of a healing process, but I believe with all the pressures on the candidate, particularly coming out of Washington, politics as usual, the whole power of incumbency. Our campaign started from the crisis of democracy itself, the money, the professionals, the lobbyists, all this stuff that we're seeing show up in the suffering and the hardship, but it emanates right out of Washington itself. And I want to be a counteracting pressure on the candidate and the party to move him in the direction that I think will really fulfill his potential as an outsider, against the pay raise, against this tremendous power of those that are in Washington working almost in a bipartisan way to keep it the way it is. And I don't think that Bill Clinton or anyone else can really talk again to the American people unless we can regain the moral authority by sharing some of the pain and some of the hardship. So I want to make him a better candidate. I want to make this party live up to what it is, and that's really the direction that I'm going to move in. And I don't think there's any rush to judgment in 2 days, 3 days, a week. We've got all the way to Labor Day for when this campaign really begins in earnest. And I want to be, in the sense of a traditional Democrat, working for the things that we've all historically believed in and fought for.
Mr. Jackson, hold on just 1 second, because I need to dot an I here, or at least try to cross a T. I almost hear you saying, you know, I'll lend my public support when I'm damn good and ready, and that may not be during the convention or after the convention. Again, when I speak of a certain culture of these conventions, you know, I mean, you've been in politics all your life, and your dad before you, that's the way things have always been done. Are you saying you may not behave and play by those rules?
Well, Ted, you make it sound like it's some individual thing. I represent 4 million people out there who voted against the established leaders of my party, who are darn turned off. Some of them are looking very seriously at Ross Perot, who are looking at not voting at all. And just for me to just turn around and say, well, everything we said during the last 6 months, I didn't mean it. No, we mean it. The people who voted for me mean it. They're profoundly disaffected with the failure, the paralysis, and the corruption. And I believe the best thing I can do is to bring this party in the direction of where the people who voted for me want to be, and thereby give the people a real choice in November.
Mr. Jackson, this time around you don't bring, although you did last time, bring what, 7 million votes to the convention, and then you played by the rules. This time you don't bring those votes.
You know what we bring are people. We bring a set of ideas to address unmet needs. When people speak of troublemaker, you think in '84 we brought on 2 million new voters. They call those voters demanding a chance to participate trouble, but they voted in '86, and that's how Democrats regained the Senate. Bringing in more voters and new voters and more vitality is expansive, and expansive is the way to win. In 1932, Roosevelt ran on a platform of balance the budget, but labor and the people in motion pushed him to the point of a New Deal. People in motion inside the convention and outside. It's a part of making us a bigger and better party. Issue at one level is not so much how I feel, but why has not Mayor Dinkins, for example, endorsed yet? Why is Mayor Bartholomew from New Orleans not coming, or Willie Brown from California? Why did Mayor Flynn just endorse last week? Why have the mayors held out? Because these mayors are listening for a message, and listening for a plan to rebuild our country. If indeed we can make a $240 million concessionary rate loan to Poland and Hungary, 40-year loans at 0.75%, first payment due in 10 years, we got those kind of plans for Poland and Hungary and for the Russian republics. What about America's cities? And so people are now struggling to get on that agenda and get the attention of the center of our party.
Look, I hear what you're both saying, but you must both also know that every word that you have spoken here this evening is gladdening the heart of every Bush Quayle supporter in the Republican Party. They love nothing better than to watch you Democrats tear each other apart.
But you know what, this idea about tearing apart, I think, is just an unfair statement. I mean, more registered Democrats is not good news for Republicans. Inspired workers who get their wages raised and who jobs are saved from fast tracking and who get equal funding for their children, that's good news for Democrats, because if we deliver in addressing unmet needs, we're going to win and deserve to win.
We're down to our last minute and a half, so Governor Brown, go ahead, please.
Ted, look, the politics as usual has certain rituals, fine. 80% of the American people are looking for a new party. They're pretty fed up. The people that voted for me are really skeptical of what's been going on here. And the problem is not just to avoid controversy, which sometimes, consultants will tell their candidate, but to touch the hearts of people in such a way that they believe, that they feel there's something at stake, so they'll bother to go out and vote. And if we have one of these campaigns where Bush is dirty with Clinton and Clinton slams Bush and Perot spends $50 million making fun of the other two, you're going to find that 55% of the people don't show up. And a lot of those people are working people, families that are really looking to government in a democratic tradition. So what we're saying is we have to galvanize the moral force, push this party in the direction that it has to go, and don't let the forces of incumbency, of Washington, of politics as usual, destroy this historic opportunity to turn the country around.
Gentlemen, we are literally down to our last 30 seconds. May I just ask you a straightforward question? Please try and give me a quick, straightforward answer. Will you support the ticket by the end of next week?
I intend to expand our party and to make our party responsive, and if it does that, we'll win and we will deserve to win.
I laid out a humility agenda in a personal meeting with Governor Clinton. I'm waiting for a response. I laid out several other issues that I believe will help him, help the party, and will allow for real governance once we win in November.
Gentlemen,
and with those conditions met, I'll have a very positive response.
I thank you both very much for joining us this evening. In a moment, some closing thoughts on the passing of a great journalist. It is a measure of the transient nature of fame in this business of television news that there is a whole new generation of adults alive now who have little or no memory of this extraordinary CBS News commentator. That is a great pity. Eric Severeid was an elegant and thoughtful writer, a man of enormous dignity and shining intelligence. His talent graced CBS radio and television for many years. But he also wrote a wonderful American book, Not So Wild a Dream. If you can still find it, read it, and you will have some understanding of the country's loss today. That's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
This has been Nightline.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Don't miss an evening of celebration that could literally save your life.
We all have to do something.
A look at AIDS in a new light. Then, celebrate with Jimmy Smits, Ricardo Montalban, Paul Rodriguez, Vanessa Williams, and more. The all-new All-Star Fiesta at Ford's. ABC celebrates life Saturday.
Channel 5's Keith Murphy, keeping you in touch.